My project looks at decreasing nursing burnout. My plan involves identifying when a nurse is struggling and calling a timeout. You can call one on yourself or a coworker. Once a timeout is called, staff are alerted so that someone can hold that nurse's phone and pager while they take a 10-minute break. The nurse can go to the Serenity Room, which has a massage chair, coloring books, snacks, and books to read. This is just a moment for them to clear their heads and relax. Sometimes that's all someone needs. It can be overwhelming on the floor, and knowing you can step away if needed gives that support and helps decrease burnout from feelings of helplessness and stress. There are other resources my hospital currently offers. The phone numbers for contacting our employee assistance program are also in the Serenity Room. There are links to join in on weekly wellness meetings if they prefer a group session to a personal counseling session as well. Evidence shows that 35 to 45% of nurses are affected by burnout. With the addition of the COVID pandemic and staffing shortages, I'm sure this number has increased. Burnout leads to absenteeism, emotional exhaustion, decreased job performance, and sometimes for nurses to quit their jobs. These all lead to increased cost for employers. Having to train new staff to replace the nurses who have quit comes with a high cost to the employers. The cost of my plan is virtually nothing. Calling a timeout and encouraging utilization of current resources comes with no cost to the employer. But it does require assistance from coworkers and leadership to step in, identify the problem, and take over while that nurse leaves the floor. To ensure the patients are safe while the nurse is taking a timeout, the floor nurses or charge nurse need to take over the patients while the nurse on timeout uses the Serenity Room. Taking a timeout is safer than working under stress and not giving your best. Having less floor on the staff seems like it would be less safe, but it's safer than nurses working under stress and not giving their best, because that could lead to errors or patient safety issues. The challenge is that not all nurses realize they need a timeout. Many times we're used to working under stress, and so we just deal with it. That's why it's important, if other nurses can see that you're struggling, to say, hey, I think you need a timeout, let me take your pager, and you go take a break for 10 minutes. But when the entire floor is heavy and stressed out, it could be hard to identify needs. The stakeholders in my project include everyone from the aides and RNs to leadership and management. Performance improvement. For most interventions to prevent burnout, I've seen things like yoga, mediation, and classes, but those are all aimed at groups, not the individual. That's why my plan focuses on identifying someone who is stressed and needs a timeout for a moment before they get completely overwhelmed. Nursing burnout can lead to errors in reporting and performance. Allowing the nurse who's under stress to step away and refocus could decrease errors, and it keeps both the nurse and the patient safe. I just want to say thank you to the Ottawa staff for being so understanding and supportive while I went through my own personal challenges this semester. May we all be that understanding in our practices and show love and support to one another.